Okay, now we're at the last portion of creating this. So we've got our nice wire grid on this, but unfortunately it's in the wrong direction. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. We just need to twist it 45 degrees from basically 90 and 0 here to more of a 45 degree angle. So there's actually quite a bit we have to do. There's no way to just shift that grid at this moment in time. So we need to build in some parameters on our curve and then copy that down several times along with the parameters, and really just let the computer just automate the lofting in between, providing us a lot of control, and then slowly but surely fill in those lofts. To be perfectly honest, we only have to fill in this little triangle right here, and then basically mirror it 3 other times to get the shape. So it seems like a lot of work, but we really only have to fill in just a few of these really, and then mirror them all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and turn a lot of this information off. As a matter of fact, we're just going to go ahead and delete that wire grid out of there. And the most important part of this, since we're really not going to have enough time to do this whole thing, and I'll provide the shortcut for completing it, but the real important part of this lesson is divvying out this curve by point. So it's actually quite simple. If you think about it. So we've got these two curves. We really only want this one, and eventually we want it to grab these points here that we haven't made yet. But let's divide this up here real quick. Want that to be, I'm going to try a couple different numbers here. 5's nice. It might be more like 8. In order for us to get the points we need. It looks like 8 is our magic number here. So what we actually want to do is start creating arcs along these points here. So in order to do that, unfortunately we do have to have another step here. At this point we do need to turn these off because they'll be a little bit distracting. If you notice, if those go away, we lose a couple of our extra points here. So what's going to end up happening is I need this point to connect to this point, to connect to this point, to get our diagonal here. And we need to be able to do that on an arc. It's actually pretty simple. Essentially, we just need to go back to our arcs over here and divide those up. Luckily, we already have most of a list of this information. We're going to create one more list and pull those in. Click, click, click. Okay, now that should give us all those points. I'm going to do divide, curve. Now, we're actually going to go back and do this in a different way, but just wanted to let you know. I meant to type 4 there. Okay, so we want this point, 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 and so on and so forth. Yeah, that'll work. So the reason we probably won't actually go back and redo all that. Let me turn this off real quick. Just because of ordering, right? So let's take a look how this is all ordered out, which is really nice because we're after these simple points right here in an arc. We want these points here. So we really want to grab, I'm going to take double click, take a stab, and we probably don't need the 0 point here, but I do want to at least grab a point somewhere along these axis points here. So it's probably going to be more of the first point here. There we are. So we're at this little point right there. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and grab the third point from here. And that's our center point. But now we need to grab this point and this point. So we're going to go back to our handy dandy list. I'm going to just throw a real big shot in the dark on which one this list is going to be pulling from. So we've got that point and that point, which is interesting. So I need 1, 3, and 2, 3. That's going to give us that point. That's going to give us that point. That's going to give us the start of our arcs. And then, of course, we're going to need to divide this thing up quite a bit more in an interesting way to get those kind of underbelly loops throughout here. So for this, because obviously there's not enough time, I'm just going to start to build a couple of these, and then essentially I'm actually just going to go ahead and give this whole thing out for free. It's already built. It's going to end up being on Arc machines, just because that's just been this great digital asset management system where I've just been creating my profile and just throwing up these links, putting them up there for anybody to download. I've got Power BI stuff, I've got Dynamo templates, I've got all kinds of panelization customizers. Arc Machines has its own package on the Dynamo package manager, so it's just been a fantastic resource for me. Just go in here, hit download, register for free. I don't know that they're ever going to charge for this, but if they do, again, still huge time savings just because of how you can start to order all this information and just organize it. I mean, it's just stupid to have this on Dropbox or on a server when it's all customizable by the projects I've been working on, practice areas I've been working on, the different versions of Dynamo that it works on, who's been downloading stuff. I've got permission from Kyle Martin to put his building program generator on here. Obviously a fantastic resource, fantastic person. Just quick shout out to Cesar Escalante and Kyle Martin. We're actually the honorable mention top speakers at Autodesk University last year, 2017. So just a phenomenal group of guys that we've been able to get together and start to develop some interesting things together. So anyway, this will be up available online at the end of this. You can start to analyze this surface if you wanted to put solar panels on it. You can put them diagonally, you can put them crossways, you can put them however you want. And literally this entire script, which looks like a lot, it's a lot of copy and pasting, but it looks like a lot. It's all basically the finalization of this script, because it's a lot of work, and I know a lot of people don't want to necessarily do all the work to create this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down here, go down to the next step down, watch this, click. That's just a kind of a cool little accident that's has potential for some design evaluation in and of itself. So let's see here. I've got these 2 points. I actually want to grab, I don't want to grab 2, I probably want to grab, there is no 4, hold on. I'm just going to take a quick guess. Oh yeah, we could go that direction. I didn't even think about that. Tell you what, let's go, let's grab 2, 2, 1, 2, and 2, 2. That should give me these points. Like I said, so on and so forth. So we're already at about 9 minutes in. So if you want to see the rest of this, like I said, go ahead and download it. At this point, you basically know how to make it. There are a couple extra items in there, but check it out. It's really fascinating, really interesting shape. So that's all I've got. Take care.